Alright, my name is Gurram, and my TED Talk today is about curiosity, teamwork, and collaboration in the workplace. So, my workplace, I worked in the California Department of State Hospitals. I was in the cybersecurity division, which meant that I worked on like servers and like patching them, checking for updates and everything. So, the first point in my TED Talk is curiosity. So, the first day I went in, I really had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what I had to do, what my job entailed, because cybersecurity is a pretty big kind of area, right? So the first thing I did was to ask my supervisor, like how I should like approach my job, and he referred me to a coworker of mine named Frank, and so he showed me like what services they use, like the applications, how to sign into everything, and so that kind of motivated me to work harder. And so the first thing about curiosity, asking questions is really important. So don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's how you learn more about your job. It's your responsibility to learn more about your job. It's not like your supervisor who has to take it upon themselves, or your coworkers to teach you more about your job. You have to be motivated to go out, ask questions, go to the internet, search about like what a certain part of your job does, like what is DDoS, what is Ansible. And so it's more about like what you have to do. So the second point in my TED Talk is teamwork. So teamwork is an essential part of any workplace. It's a necessary skill that you have to have in order to work in any project where you're working with other people. So an example, when I first started the job, I think this third day, I was in a meeting with the CTO and a representative from Cisco, and they were talking about moving the company towards cloud computing. So moving our servers from being local, where people could just like, if they were motivated enough, could attack it and get information from one place, to going towards the cloud, where it was all in a secure database managed by a big company that could like protect it well. And so we had to work with Cisco to like, who communicated with our whole department to like communicate with everyone to make sure they're on the same page to work towards that common goal to move us towards cloud computing. Another example, last week our servers crashed because there was too many like people requesting to access our database, and so all our services were down, people couldn't access their information, and so our whole department had to work together to get those services up and running to make sure that people could still access them. So people that I'd never met before in that same department, in that office, even people across the state in other offices I had to work with. And that's when teamwork became a necessary skill. If I didn't know how to work with those people, then I wouldn't know how to like get information from them, and also take the information on my end and send it back to them. That brings me to my third point in my topic, which is collaboration. You can't be afraid to work with others. So that's another lesson I learned on my first day. When I came in, I was too scared to ask other people questions and to learn more about my job. So asking other people is your best resource, because you can't always refer to Google. You can't always go to YouTube and search like how to do your job. You have to learn from other people who have been there, who've gone through the same problems, who've experienced the same things you're going through, and then learn from that. So you can help others in return. This isn't like only like leeching off of them for advice. Collaboration is a equal partnership where you give and you also return to them. So you give advice and you receive advice in return. And so in conclusion, curiosity, first point, kickstarts your understanding of your job. It helps you become like, come up to speed in your job. Teamwork, you have to work with others to do well in your job. You have to be able to work with others in any project. Let's say you have to work with, say you have a partner in a project, you have to work with them to finish that project. And collaboration, it's your best resource. You have to work with others to get, to further your own goal, to further your own project. And that's the end of my TED Talk. Thank you.